China's President Xi Jinping, is he a force or a joke? Good day everyone, welcome back to China Down Under. My name's Yang. Do you know who's the busiest man in the world? It's China's Xi Jinping. How come? Because he has some, traits. Xi is a typical princeling of the Chinese Communist Party. Emotional, arrogant, unable to tolerate different voices, bullheaded, lacking insight, and also, no, I'm not talking about my grandpa. He's a bit stubborn, but he's fine. These typical princeling traits make him a mysterious person. No, but he never stops surprising us with his crazy antics. And every time we're like, oh dude, that's not a good idea. It doesn't matter to him though. He values face, and is dying to prove to us that he is not Winnie the Pooh. After so many years, people still call him that. Since Australia called for the investigation into the origin of COVID-19, Winnie Xi started to restrict many exports from Australia to teach Aussie a lesson. Yes, we learned 2 lessons. 1. Alternative trade partners are important. 2. Winnie Xi is a crazy bear. Since the ban of Australian imports, Chinese people living in mainland China are suffering great difficulties. For more details, check one of our previous videos. Just recently, Winnie Xi asked China's ports to detain more than 23,000 litres of wine from Australia. But Chinese people's love for Australian wine has not reduced at all. So how is the CCP going to meet the high demand? Maybe put cheap or fake wine into fancy-looking bottles labeled as Penfolds? What? Am I kidding? No, that's what Chinese dealers are doing. Oh, but don't worry. Chinese dealers said these fake wines are good enough not to cause any health problems. Yes, they make healthy fake wines. Or is it? While Winnie Xi is banning Australian wines, a top Chinese trade official expressed interest in restoring the relationship with Australia. That's a genuine suggestion, one would think. The trade official and his colleagues, who unlike Winnie, did graduate from university and do know the real economic situation of China. It doesn't matter to Winnie Xi though. Remember, he only values face. It was not the first time Xi ignored his school advisors. On the first day of June 2020, China's Premier Li Keqiang reported to public that due to the COVID-19 and the US-China trade war, there were over 500 million Chinese living in poverty, with monthly income less than $150. Li Keqiang wanted to promote the store economy, which encouraged people who lost their jobs to sell goods or services to the public using portable stores on the streets. Initially, all China's state media praised it. They wrote enthusiastically, "Wow, store economy provides hundreds of thousands of jobs in one night." After 4 days, there was a sudden change in their tone towards store economy. Instead, they wrote, "The store economy is not beneficial to the establishment of China's image." Poor Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, unfortunately, focused too much on his job that he totally forgot about Winnie Xi's face. What happened to the store economy? Now, it's as if it never existed. Forget Kung Fu Panda. Xi Jinping wants to be Kung Fu Winnie, fighting many enemies at the same time. But the problem is, he hasn't learned international Kung Fu. Australia is not the only one Xi Jinping is fighting. Recently, 8 Chinese fighter jets appeared in Taiwan's defense zone. Winnie Xi has a clear purpose, to show the world that he is not to be trifled with. So what happened after that? Taiwan President Taiwan vowed to defend the island and has made modernizing its armed forces a priority, including speeding up the purchase of weapons from the United States. The United States, on the other hand, also expressed that it will fulfill commitment to defend Taiwan. All surveys show that the national identity of the Taiwanese is becoming more consistent and independent, including many of those who once wanted to unite with Chinese Communist Party. Is that what Xi Jinping wants? He made his enemies unite together. Well done. Tsai Ing-wen also reminded Xi Jinping to control the coronavirus pandemic, which Xi Jinping denied the need for. There's no new COVID-19 cases, he said, while continuing to lock down many areas in China, including provinces Heilongjiang, Hebei, and Jilin. We are on the edge of the death, said one resident of Shijiazhuang city in Hebei. His family is one of many that has been stuck under lockdown for nearly 50 days without any income. But that's not Xi Jinping's problem. Remember, his face is more important. Now everyone knows that she isn't the smartest bear in the 100-acre woods. So to save face and show his superiority, the only way, in his mind, is to get into more and more fights. And what's better than getting into a lot of fights? Fighting with everyone at the same time. Australia, Taiwan. Who else is he fighting? Recently, Xi's mouthpiece, the Global Times, described the Five Eyes Alliance members as annexers of white supremacy, gangsters, evil racists, and a neo-Nazi, just because Canada accused the Chinese Communist Party of genocide against Uyghur groups in China. We talked about this in our last video. The Global Times kindly reminded non-Western countries and immigrants that the English-speaking descendants of Anglo-Saxons are a risk to them. Gotcha! But Japan wanted to join the Five Eyes. So the Japanese must just be shameful traitors to the non-Westerners, hey, Winnie Xi? Don't worry, I guess there's always other non-Western countries like India, China's precious neighbour. They will definitely stand alongside the Chinese Communist Party to fight the racist Westerners. Oh, that's right. CCP soldiers killed Indian troops at the border with spiked bats. I guess India won't be fighting for the Global Times' favored bear after all. Hang on. There's always the 1.4 billion Chinese people who would stand with the CCP. What about them? Oh, what? Roughly 300 million Chinese have already quit the Chinese Communist Party. Nearly 50,000 people have left Hong Kong since July 2020, many moving to the countries of the Five Eyes Alliance. Oh, dude, it seems that many non-Westerners, including Chinese, are waiting to see the end of the oppressive Communist Party. Subsequently, both Hong Kong's unemployment rate and budget deficit hit a new record low. On the 24th of February, Hong Kong stocks plummeted 12%, also a new record. $15 billion were withdrawn from the stock market on that day. By the way, that's another economic disaster for Xi to deal with. Winnie Xi keeps fighting. The consequences keep showing, and there's no sign of him stopping. You probably assume that he has the wholehearted support from his own party. Does he? On the 22nd of January, during the 5th plenary session of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, Xi said, anti-corruption is a political struggle that cannot and must not be lost. But we all know that in reality, corruption is the least of the concerns of the CCP leaders. Whenever leaders yell struggle, they must have felt threats. Threats from within the party. Oops. During Xi Jinping's tiger fighting campaign starting in 2013, numerous governors from the faction of Jiang Zemin, the previous Central Secretary of the Communist Party, were sent to prison. We all gave him bravo for his courage at that time, because Jiang Zemin and his faction are bad and vicious people. When we thought he would continue to fight the tigers until the faction is disabled and could not fight back, given he can't be friends with any of them anyway, Winnie Xi stopped. That was the time we were all like, oh my god, dude, are you kidding me? There were still many governors from Jiang Zemin's faction occupying important positions in Xi's government. No wonder Xi yelled struggle in the meeting. He's scared of retaliation. But Xi does continue to send some baby tigers into prison. He just doesn't touch the big ones. So we can imagine the big ones are watching him carefully in the dark, waiting for a chance to finish him. If I was him, I would be super alert when any members from the faction are around me. At least I won't take any advice from them. Right? Well, you think he's as normal as me? As the head of the party, Xi Jinping has many scholar advisors who stand by his side, but he never listens to those ones. Maybe what they suggest doesn't make his face glow. He only listens to one person, Wang Huning, a current member of the party's Politburo Standing Committee. Do you know who promoted Wang Huning into the center of government in Beijing initially? Jiang Zemin. This is an unwritten rule in the Chinese Communist Party. Whoever promoted you, you follow them till the end. Why? Because they would ask you to commit many crimes or do many bad things to seek the interest for the whole faction. Of course, they would also keep these secrets for you. If you betrayed them, your secrets are no longer safe and your life would be in danger. Wang Huning was also the real author of Jiang Zemin's book, The Three Represents. I'm waiting for you to say that Wang Huning is actually from Jiang Zemin's faction after I explain all above. But anyway, so what did Wang Huning suggest to our Winnie Xi? Firstly, he asked Xi to build a high-profile personality cult and remove presidential term limits, which brought endless criticism to Xi from all over the world. Secondly, he asked Xi to be the team leader for more and more groups in the government. And whenever anything goes wrong, Xi Jinping would be the one and the only one who is responsible. But Winnie Xi likes to be the only one. On the 28th of January 2020, he said he personally directed the COVID-19 epidemic prevention and control. Well, Wuhan lockdown started 5 days before his speech on personal direction. 2 months after that, bam! COVID-19 spread to every corner of the world. Was this the fault of the lockdown or Xi Jinping's personal directions? Now we know why Winnie Xi loves Wang Huning so much, because Wang Huning appears to be the only one cherish this bear's face, while others only focus on common sense. Wang Huning suggested something else that Winnie Xi followed without hesitancy: to introduce national security law to Hong Kong, to launch the trade war against Australia, and to use wolf warrior foreign policy when other countries are criticizing Winnie Xi for his behavior. Wang is Xi's best buddy. He provides Xi with the whole package, from what to do to how to respond. How lucky Winnie Xi is! So maybe we know why Winnie Xi keeps himself busy and keeps himself fighting with everyone, because of advice from his best buddy Wang Huning, one of Jiang Zemin's closest ally. Wang Huning is Wakeng for Xi Jinping. Wait, what is Wakeng? It's a Chinese internet slang. Literally, Wa means dig, and Keng means a hole. It actually means someone has set a trap for you, and then he is gently, with a smile on the face, guiding you to walk into the trap. So you'd think with all the honey traps Winnie Xi has set for others in business and in politics, for example, Belt and Road Initiative, he'd be able to see a trap set for himself. So where is the multitasking, fighting machine Winnie Xi taking himself and the Chinese Communist Party to? A Keng, I guess. I encourage you to use any Chinese slangs I'm teaching you in the videos, because if you use them when talking to a Chinese, he or she be like, oh my God, how come this Lao Wai knows this word? So thank you for watching today's episode. Our channel is still very young. We try to uncover many things that mainstream media might not be willing to report in the future. So please support us by leaving your comments below. And please also like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Catch you later.